Hi everyone, my name is Zach REDRUP. You're listening to the It's Not a Phase podcast, and on this episode I'm joined by vocalist Elin Allan and guitarist Josh Bailey of the band Kite Thief. We talk about how the band formed, their debut EP Ambiviolent, how their songwriting has changed and improved over the past few years since their inception, their favourite Simon Pegg and Nick Frost films, and loads more. Now, if you enjoyed this or any other episode of the podcast and you want to show your support, there's a few ways that you can do that. Number one, leave a rating and review wherever you're listening to this. It takes just a few seconds and it really does help. Number two, share this on your social media, whether that be Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever. Or number three, if you want to go the extra mile, you can pay a little bit each month to join the Patreon, and in return you'll get access to episodes early along with some of our perks, or you can pick up some merch from the store. All the links to that and the podcast socials where you can follow us can be found at itsnotaphase.co.uk. That's itsnotaphase.co.uk. And now with all that out of the way, let's jump right into this week's episode of It's Not a Phase. What's up everybody? Thank you for joining me on this episode of It's Not a Phase, where I'm joined with Elin and Josh from the band Kite Thief. How are you both doing?
Doing fab.
Hello, yeah, I'm doing good. How are you?
All good, all good. Have you guys, do you use Spotify? Have you seen Spotify Wrapped? What's that kind of looking like?
Yeah.
Mine is so embarrassing.
I'm the only member of Kite Thief to not have Kite Thief in my top 5, and I feel a bit bad about it.
You don't even support your own band? Come on.
I know. Everyone was like, oh yeah, look, we've been listening to our songs so much. And I was like, yeah, same. Mine was like Sleep Token, Enter Shikari, North Lane, then like Drake and Skrillex.
I think my 5th top artist was Kite Thief. There was just a lot of like top songs or Kite Thief ones. I was like,
To be fair, yeah.
Well, I guess you have to listen back to them, don't you, when you rehearsing and stuff like that, just to make sure that you're all like, you remember the songs fully.
Yeah, well, sometimes I do just put them on. Like,
yeah,
they're good. They're really good songs, and everyone should
very
listen
good.
Yeah. Well, hopefully next year there'll be more people having Kite Thief in their Spotify rap.
Yeah, there's a couple of people I think who had. Yeah, they said we had a few people who had us as like top artists, which is really wild to think that we were, other than the ones that we can count off because it was the band. But there's actually some people out there who are listening to those songs a lot. So if that's you listening, thank you very much.
Well, I guess it would have been weird as well. Like, when you see, I don't know, with the band one, does it list countries, like the top like countries and stuff like that? I guess you're looking at it like, I had no idea like our music would reach, I don't know, like what countries were there?
Yeah, that is
Australia. We have Australia a lot.
Yeah, and the US has grown a lot over this EP campaign, which is a surprising one. I think, mostly bands in our genre kind of expect the ones that you're told to expect are kind of like England, obviously, and then like Germany, and some of the countries in Europe. But the US, it seems to be like going up quite a lot, which is awesome.
Yeah, definitely. It's
crazy looking at it, and then you can see like even if it's just one play here, like from like the opposite side, it's crazy.
Yeah. The internet can do crazy things, right?
Yeah. I know, it's kind of terrifying now.
So, you guys are a relatively new band. So there'll be people listening who, might not know who you are and what you're all about. So obviously before Kite Thief, you were in some other projects that I did a little bit of digging. You were in ICYMI, is that right?
Yeah.
And then Josh, you were in a band called Valley of Oceans.
This is perfect.
How on earth did you find that?
Well, I saw that a little over 10 years ago, so 2012. Yeah. The last post on Valley of Oceans Facebook was, "We're coming back. This isn't the end of us." But
oh God,
I've been looking for 11 years. So,
oh, that is wild. I mean, ICYMI with Ellen I get because they were doing quite good bits, but yeah, Valley of Oceans, that's the throwback. That is a deep cut.
That's so funny. You must have you've literally done your research.
I've done my research. Yeah, I do my homework.
I love it. Yeah. That's where we start. Well, I mean, I think we didn't know each other, obviously, at those points. That was completely different times. I very rarely think about that, but I was very much in the pop punk scene. I wanted to be a little pop punk princess, and I still kind of do, but now I want it to be really angry as well. And I want Max to scream in the background.
Pop punk with a bit of angst.
Yeah. Well, definitely not pop punk, but I think that's where definitely not. But I think that's where my kind of poppier melodies come from.
Right. So at one point then did, Kite Thief start to form? Because I think from what I've looked into, it was during university. You went to the same university?
Yeah, we went to a music uni. So, and we each were studying our respective instruments. And then at the end of that year, there was like an exam where you had to like get into groups, form your group and do a performance essentially. And Elin was for my experience, Elin was the one who got everyone together. I think she was kind of just trying to get a good mark for herself, to be honest, right? So she was like hand picking people like way ahead of the time that everyone else was. And she actually grabbed me because I played bass in a session one time, and I'm a guitarist. I'm a guitarist in Kite Thief, but I was playing bass in this session, and she was there, and basically, just grabbed me. I think because I was just having a bit of fun on stage. So, but yeah,
I knew you weren't a bassist. But yeah, I think you were just the one that was fun, because there was some, like, you know, sometimes you didn't vibe with people on stage. I was quite a energetic person because I've been doing ICYMI for like years, and oh my god, we were called like Freefall before that. I've been in bands since I was like 14.
Good names. They're both pretty good band names, not gonna lie.
Do you think so? Oh my god, I mean ICYMI kind of rated, but in a way people were really confused by it. Anyway, so I was used to like jumping around on stage, and I think Josh was the first person that kind of like interacted back with me. So I was like, yeah, you want to do stuff together? You're like, yeah, but I'm not a bassist. I was like, I know, but let's just carry on doing that.
And then she'd already spoken to the other guys about doing it, so we got together to learn a song for this exam, and it went really well. And we were like, maybe we should keep doing this. It was kind of the end of first year of uni, I think, so we kind of did that, and then had the idea to come back in, second year and get going with it and see what we can do. And then, I think we had a few songs really quickly, went to the studio, recorded them, and we didn't actually have like an Instagram or anything for a really long time. Right. So we were doing shows in Bristol without actually having like being a real band, if that makes sense. And then once we had a song ready, we thought, okay, let's.
We wanted to like hone in on the live scene as well. Like we didn't want to jump online or just like into anything too soon before knowing exactly what like was going on before like what we are, like, because I don't know, there's so many bands I'd been in the past, you're like, let's do a band, make a Facebook page, like the first thing you do, and then you never do anything with it, and the fear of posting stuff, I think, was quite real then. So we just wanted to like get ourselves like going, and we're quite proud of our live show, and I think that's probably like that's where it all kind of started. It was just because we were doing that without any pressure from having to appear perfect online or anything, and we got to save loads of like any pictures that were taken, just saved them and then posted them a later date.
Yeah, like a stockpile then, I guess.
Yeah, which is kind of what we do now anyway. We just kind of collect and collect and collect.
Yeah,
that content.
Yeah, because I guess you don't have that period where it's kind of like a dry spell, so you're then kind of panicking about we need to post something soon because we're not posted anything in X amount of days or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'd do it probably in my old bands. It was like X amount of months, and you end up being like, what's the point? Like, why? So, we wanted to get in that live circuit first, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then, we released some songs, and I don't even know what happened after that.
Well, it's been a steady. I think we. Well, I don't know if we want to give the whole history, but we were kind of doing your traditional kind of steady, slightly bigger gigs after slightly bigger gigs, and then COVID happened, and we didn't do shows for ages. So that gave us a chance to kind of reset a little bit, and that's when we started recording songs that were a bit different. And that's when you get, there's quite a big shift. And if you go back and listen to our songs, you have our first 3 singles, Pinky Promise, Smile and Wave, and Pictures. And then immediately after that is Sweepstake. And you can tell there's a big change. And that's because we had time to work with people and songwriters. And we learned the value of working with other people, I think, and what it can add to music. So now, these days, even the stuff we're putting out at the minute, we've worked loads with our producer, Joe Marsh, just to we love just kind of giving him a bit of freedom, and also with John from Superlove. I think you spoke to Jacob. I think Jacob's a podcast with Jacob. We John from Superlove to do like all the textures and extra stuff in our songs, and just like now we just love working with people.
We want layers upon layers. We want everyone to come together and create a child.
Just add some more stuff into the melting pot of what Kite Thief is, because but until you get to the point where you're like, we're ready to make an album, you're still kind of trying to find your identity in a way, I guess.
I don't know if we do an album anytime. I think some bands do it really well, where they do an album early on and it does really well. But I think there's a risk of just giving people too many songs like early on when you're not like maybe ready to do so. I think back to when if we had done an album, when we did our first 3 songs, if we'd done an album, then like our Spotify would just be like super like saturated with songs that we won't even like. We don't even play our first 3 songs live anymore. Like I don't even know. I mean, we might do at some point, but like at the moment we're not playing them. And I think, I just think back to it. I'm like, I'm so glad we didn't do that. And even now, we've done an EP. I think EPs are going to be the way, in my opinion. Bear in mind, I'm a fifth of the equation here, and I get outvoted regularly.
We do have to vote. We do.
We got to have a democracy. Like, everyone's voice is as important as the others, so you got to make sure everyone's on board and happy with what's going on.
Oh yeah, we are very democratic in Kite Thief.
If it's 3 versus 2, though, the 3 win. So like that's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
If me, Josh, and like Zach think, yeah, let's do this thing, and Henry and Max think, no, that's not happening.
Like, well,
we win.
Unlucky. Yeah.
Yeah, we win.
Basically.
So that exam you mentioned, like, so was that like an original song, or did you cover something?
We covered "Play" by Marmozets.
Okay.
We auditioned for the show with it. They do like end of term shows, and it was the last one of the year. So I think we did this song in our for our actual assessment, our actual exam.
I think the assessment doubled up as auditions, right?
I don't know.
If I remember correctly, we didn't have a choice.
Oh yeah.
I think like we had, but by doing the exam, we were auditioning, if that makes sense. And then they were like, "Yeah, cool, you're on the show as well." And we were like, "Oh, we're going to have to do a performance together," like quite quickly on. And then I think we also won the prize that evening, didn't we? For like best act straight away. So I think that was kind of one of the things that really was like.
We were like, "Oh, this is cool," but we were like, "Oh, that band name is awful. We need to change that."
Yeah, I mean, we've gone from one band bad name to another bad one.
So why are you called Kite Thief?
We tell people it's because Henry had a phase,
right?
And we just
that
kind of
works on this
there.
podcast, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
We'll just say that. There you go.
Henry had a phase. Okay.
Yeah. We want, we're leaving it up to interpretations for,
a phase of thieving kites from people, I imagine.
Yeah.
You would assume so.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Do you know what? I used to think that it sounded like Kaiser Chiefs, and I was like, "Oh God, are people going to get us confused with Kaiser Chiefs?" But luckily, that's not happened.
Kaiser Chiefs, Kite Chiefs. I don't think they would get us confused between us and a multi-million-dollar like.
No, but
Maybe we start covering like I Predict a Riot or Ruby, then maybe people get my.
I would love to cover either of those songs. Do like Ruby, a heavy version of I Predict a Riot would be sick.
In my pop punk band, we used to do like pop punk versions of like Blondie songs and like also Justin Bieber songs. We used to do some really strange things, but it's quite fun. We could do that. We should do that.
Punk goes pop kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I guess we did the Billie Eilish one that's on our Spotify, and you can. It's probably our biggest song on Spotify.
It is by far our biggest song on Spotify, and I can't wait until something overtakes it. I'm hoping. I'm hoping the Tide will. It's doing quite well at the minute, so. Hopefully it'll catch up. I mean, hindsight's not far off either, to be honest. It's getting there.
Yeah.
The Billie Eilish one was. We did that in lockdown. All from our respective homes, and
we did it in one take. The challenge was for us to do one take. I don't know why we did it that way. We just let's do it as like
for the video bit, and then we sent all our stems over to Joe, and he made it sound pretty decent. So, it stands out. Like people at my. I still come across people who are like, I listen to that every day. And I'm like, oh, you should listen to the other songs.
Well, at least as long as it brings them in to listen to the other songs,
exactly.
It's serving a purpose, right?
Yeah.
So was that the uni you went to? Was that BIM?
Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
We never know whether to say the name or not. We're always looking like.
I think there's a bit of a. I think to a certain level, there's a bit of a. Is that a stigma? Like BIM bands kind of have like a painted with a brush in the industry a little bit, but it was
right. Well, not many bands nowadays, will form in like an education kind of place, like university or a school or stuff like that. It's kind of rare nowadays. I guess some people who go to these universities are doing so because they want to learn more about music. There's contacts and all that kind of stuff. Sorry,
I think it's quite rare to have a band who's like all 5 of them are in there.
Yeah. There are a couple. Like I'm pretty sure Yonica have been Brighton.
Yeah.
Obviously Idol. Oh no, only one of them went. Yeah, so I don't know.
There are a few. There's loads. We always get,
Yeah,
we talk about it, but there are quite a few of them
there's a
around.
few around that you don't realise.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, they're a bin band.
Yeah,
I don't know, there's nothing that's like, well, it gave us 3 years to create whatever we were. We were very lucky to meet like fairly early on. Like most people, I work there and I love my job there. And it gives you that space to like create whatever you kind of want to in those 3 years. Obviously, you've got to find your right people. For us, we did, which was really nice.
Yeah.
And like everyone's just as hardworking, and everyone's got so many different like facets about them that like the others don't have, and it works together really well. People like, yeah, they really need to utilize it, but at the same time, I think a lot of them have got a lot going against them. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's hard to form it. We did work really, really hard because it can be like, you don't want to always do it, but we've not stopped since first year of university.
Right. Yeah. Do you think it's worthwhile for like, people listening who are kind of interested in potentially going into music as an education kind of path? Do you think that's worth it? Do you think it's benefited you guys?
Yeah, I definitely like, I think I sounded a bit negative at the start when I was talking about the reputation of bands, but it's 100% like, I think there was you get loads of people who start in first year who don't finish the degree. And I think people expect to kind of just like, here's my money for this degree, make me famous kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas actually, you've got to put in quite a lot of work. And like Ellen said, we've been working really hard. There was an element of us, I mean, I might be shooting myself in the foot here, but even me, like start of like second year, I was like, damn, we're going to leave uni, we're going to be famous. Like this is going so well, we're going to be huge.
You get some mansions.
Yeah. And it is like, it's how many years since we graduated? Like 3 years since we graduated now. And obviously we're still grinding, and we're like, we're obviously seeing improvements here, as we go, but you've really still got to put in the work.
You've got to work
also,
in the real world. Yeah.
There's so much you can do at the uni that will help.
You've got to take advantage of it. Like they're taking your money, you're going to be in debt either way, but there's a lot that you can take advantage of.
Like the services, the facilities and everything. Like
and the people they do have like weird connections at, like they have a lot of connections, and you can get really cool work experience, like regardless if you're doing like, I wasn't doing business or events, but I was able to go at work at 2000 Trees. Do you know what I mean? As a student, it was pretty cool. Like you have got to take advantage of those parts, but if you don't put any of the effort in, you're not going to get the rewards.
Can you get what you put into it, basically?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, then moving on to current day, Kite Thief, you got your new EP on the way, Ambiviolent, which comes out on December 15th. How are you feeling about finally putting this out into the world? Like, how long have you been sitting on this collection of songs?
Oh my God, it's kind of scary. When we first jumped on this call and you said, oh yeah, so probably release this episode at this date, which is like a week away from the EP. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, that's really soon.
I think I actually had a look at the files the other day for the demos, and I think the earliest one was what is now Shush. And the working title, we always have like weird working titles for our demos.
But most bands do, I think.
Yeah, it's usually whatever's on the desk at the time. So this one was called Mocha, and I think we began working on this. Ellen might know. I remember you and Max going to Joe's house, like after COVID, like after the pandemic.
It was actually not long after I went through a breakup and I had to move out and dyed my hair all crazy colours. And we're like, yeah, let's go to Joe's and do some songwriting because I needed to obviously be distracted. And so I remember it being quite a chaotic time in my life. It sticks out. Joe, I don't know whether he wrote the synth part or not, but that was what we started with, and we just like built this thing around it and just like freestyled some stuff, and we were like, this is sick, this is the beginning of the first EP. That would have been about October 2020, maybe November. No, not 2020. 2021?
2021. Yeah.
2021. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think we probably thought it would be out sooner, but we tried some other bits and bobs and doing other stuff, and like, we would do a bit of work on it, kind of put it on hold for a while, figure out more stuff to do with the live shows. I think as the pandemic ended, we kind of refocused on live shows again, and then we knew we wanted to release something, and then we got signed up to Savior Management last year, and that was kind of a bit of a kick up the old behind to get some music out. And we'd been on a little holiday together, a little writing retreat. We took like a few days away in the countryside, which was amazing. And we worked on a bunch of songs then, and then just a case of getting it recorded earlier this year, like January. And the rest is kind of history. But we've been on some of these songs are young. I think the one that we did the latest was the title track of the EP, Ambiviolent, however you're going to say it. There's a bit of the jury's out on that one. It's a bit of a
jury is out. It's ambivalent to me. It's ambivalent.
I think it's ambivalent.
You think
it's a play on words, because in the song there's a line in the song. An ambivalent life, Elin.
Yeah. Well done.
And so it's kind of a bit of a play on that, but I guess we'll see. I reckon some people won't even notice that it's spelled differently.
I wouldn't have. I still think it's. Sometimes I look at it and go, "Oh God, no, that's the correct way to spell it. We need to change it." Like, I don't know. It's my dyspraxic brain.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we've had these songs for ages. Elin and Max did the bulk of the kind of initial writing for these. That's kind of the way that most songs have gone. Most of them start off as a demo of Max's, and then him and Elin collaborate kind of first to get basic ideas down, and then the rest of us will weigh in. It's a little bit different these days, actually.
Zach seems like he's going to write the whole EP. The next EP is coming out. It's all going to be written by Zach. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, I think
and
everyone's
you've started, but you've been throwing in some bits.
Yeah, I think everyone's been I think the first EP has given everyone a lot of confidence, and now I've got the boys are coming around to mine next weekend to start officially working on the next one, and it's going to be because Elin can't make it, unfortunately, but it'll be interesting, I think, because we're going to have songs based off, I think we'll probably work on something that I've been working on, something that Zach's been working on. I think Zach and Henry spent some time to get randomly, like
they didn't tell us. They just
tell us. They were just hanging out together.
Like a selfie,
I should mention,
left you out.
Yeah,
we all live pretty far away, so it's quite rare for two members of the band to be together in a non-band related scenario, if that makes sense.
We're not all meeting up. No one's meeting up.
Yeah, like we're all mates.
I see Max, but
yeah, you make it sound like we're not mates. It's just because we live far away.
Yeah. Well, yes, exactly.
No meeting up, no social situation.
I hate you. I'm leaving. No, actually, luckily we all get on very well these days. No, we do. Josh lives like Surrey area.
Right.
You can say London. It's London.
Is it?
It's we have red buses. I live in Kingston, basically, so it's right on the edge. It's the last train station before you can't tap in with an Oyster card. So, like basically London, but not really. Zach lives in Northamptonshire. Henry lives in Glastonbury, and then Elin and Max are both still in Bristol.
So yeah, pretty far apart from one another then.
Yeah. Not like impossible, but yeah, pretty stretched.
Most of our time together is over like Zoom calls and stuff. Until we go on tour, and then we're like in a van.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah, it'd be hard to do a tour over Zoom, wouldn't it? So
if someone figures it out, let me know.
That would be interesting.
So was it always the intent to go in and make an EP, or are these kind of like just collections of songs that eventually kind of said, you know what, these kind of fit into one body of work, and then we'll put this out as an EP? Because you could have just had singles, couldn't you?
Yeah, we used to do singles, and then we just kind of spoke about it for ages, and we took some time away. And I think that was probably over COVID. It was probably over COVID when we started having to do everything via Zoom, because we all had to move away. No one could go see each other anyway. And and then we had a conversation about actually doing an EP. We were like, should we do it? I remember everyone being really excited at the end of it. I was like, yeah, I think we should. So we started writing loads, and then looked at what we wrote, and we're constantly like picking and choosing and mixing things around.
Yeah, so, I think if people saw our like demos folder on, they would be like, awful. What is going on? Because we have like, and I say we, again, it's mainly been Max until recently, but it's like just demo after demo after demo in there, all with ridiculous names. And I think it was a case of like, I don't know, it's really interesting how, there'll be one that at the time maybe we're like, oh, that's pretty good, let's put it in the folder, we'll come back to it. And then, like recently Max messaged me and was like, hey, do you remember this demo from like 2 years ago? And he played it to me, and it was like, I was like, whoa, this is sick. And it's like, it might not have been one that we prioritized originally, but now it's going to be one that we're going to work on, and maybe mix it with something else that we've done recently. And I think what we did for the last one was we wrote more songs than that are on the EP, and then decided which ones work the best together. There was one that really nearly made it onto the EP, and which is quite different to the other 5. And I think we decided ultimately to keep this EP quite high energy with the songs, whereas this other one was a little bit like, I don't want to say softer because it had some pretty chunky riffs, but it was a bit of a different vibe. So I reckon, maybe that'll make it onto the next one if it suits the songs on there. But I think, once we had a few songs that matched up, we were like, okay, yeah, this is an EP now. Like, this is definitely going to be together.
So you had quite a lot of songs then to work with.
Yeah, we had a lot to work with. We still do. I said, we've got a lot of like basic songs together. I think we have enough for like, I don't want to put a number to it, but a lot, we've probably got like 30, 40 like potential songs in our like Google Drive.
Wow.
That we can
so many.
Develop.
I mean, some of them are just shorter clips, but also like I think Max is just ridiculous. Like he will just like that boy is unmedicated ADHD in the best way. Like he is creating constantly. Yeah, so we're quite lucky there. And then, but also I think we are always just recording bits of ourselves, and we're always kind of looking for ways to improve. I don't think we're never just like not doing anything. We're always trying new things out. So that's why there's so many different things we need to now go through and be like, is that too weird, or is that too not Kite Thief? You never know. But yeah, we've definitely got plenty in there.
Well, I guess because you're such a young band anyway, you've kind of got that time to kind of experiment and see what does and what doesn't work. And I guess what will also happen is when this new EP drops is you can kind of gauge what is sitting and what isn't sitting so well with the fans, and that would probably direct you on, the follow-up EP and whatever else comes after that as well.
Yeah, that's quite exciting to think about, actually. It's like we can kind of use that to our advantage and be like, okay, what did you like? Okay, cool, let's do that. Let's do more of that.
Actually,
market research, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I think it's interesting, because we all had different ideas as well of which songs would do like the best on this EP, or like which ones would resonate with people the most. And so I'm excited for all of them to be out so that we can, wait some time and see which, who was right. I'm pretty confident on my bet, but we'll see.
I'm torn. I've got a possible two. No, I've got a possible two, but I think I have a favourite.
What's your favourite?
Judge Judy and Executioner. I'm just gonna call it Judy.
Nice.
Yeah.
See,
we just call it Judy. It's just called Judy.
Shush. And
I know.
I know. I assumed it would I think it would do well. I don't know, it's only come out recently, so I don't want to say it's going to do the best, because at the moment obviously it's not.
Well, I mean, it got on Radio 1.
It did get on Radio 1. It was our first song on Radio 1.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
Like, what the hell?
Technically I win.
We had no idea. I had no idea until my mum texted me. Like, it all happened really quick. We were just like, what the hell? Where did that go? So that was really cool.
Yeah, that was a bit out of the blue.
Well, we'll come back in a year and we'll see which of the songs was the most popular, and whoever had like the right answer will get a prize of some kind.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll plan that. I like that.
It'll be me.
Just give it to you now.
Yeah. Oh God, go on then. It's fine.
So what do you think this EP will like display and signify of Kite Thief that you've not had a chance to do just yet on, the singles that you put out prior to that? What is being shown that you've not shown yet? What's it delivering that hasn't been delivered yet?
That is a fantastic question.
Making us think. I think we've not been afraid to just be a bit weird or try out some things. Like, some of it makes no sense, but almost in such like a way that it really makes sense. Like we had an interview with someone, God, I can't remember his name. I need to remember his name. I will find out. The other day, and they were like, yeah, I was kind of like, at first I was like, oh, I don't know. Oh, okay. Oh, like we never really want you to know where it's going to go. And I think that's something we always want to strive for, or at least I do. I never want it to be expected. I don't, if it's a melody or whatever, or a section or a weird little time thing, whatever Zach does with his compound stuff, with his brain and his hands, his big feet. Zach's a really tall man. He's 6'6".
He's the drummer, by the way.
That is pretty tall.
He's a big man. He's huge feet, but he's also like just a puppy, really, isn't he?
Yeah, very smart man as well.
He's a very smart man.
I think for me, the EP is like showing. It's so funny because every time we release new music, it feels like a step up in terms of songwriting. If we look at that EP now compared to our earliest stuff, it feels night and day. And the crazy thing about that is that the stuff we're working on now feels a massive step up compared to the stuff that we're releasing right now. And it's like, I hope that never stops, because we just keep upping the game, I think. And but I think this EP shows a bit more maturity in terms of songwriting and like structure and, you know, riff writing and stuff like that as well. I think it's all just taking a step up. The vocals are insane in this EP, I think.
Oh, thanks.
Well, I think you and Joe Marsh are a dangerous mix, Ellen.
Yeah,
you guys you cook up some crazy vocal stuff, and you know, it's so funny how we'll write a demo. You know, like I said to you earlier, the boys are coming up to mine next weekend. We're going to write, you know, as many songs as we can. It's all going to be riffs and breakdowns, and then we'll get, you know, Ellen will have a look, and she'll write the like craziest vocal melody, and then that will get sent to Joe, and then they'll come up with this insane vocal arrangement that just takes over the whole song in the best way possible. You know, as much effort as we can put into riffs and stuff, you know, it's not going to compare. So
you get outshined.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We'll get outshined no matter what. So I think that's something that really shows up. In, you know, Joe has done some cool videos on his Instagram where he's been like tearing down the, you know, the songs a little bit, doing a bit behind the, like, you know, the projects and stuff. And to hear some of that stuff isolated, like the vocal tracks and all the amount of layers that he did with Ellen, because it was very interesting, the recording of this EP, we weren't all together in a studio. Because, you know, we're adults and some of us have jobs and we live far away from each other.
And you have a dog.
I have a dog. Yeah. I have to, you know, look after him.
I have a child.
I have a child. The child is the dog, just so everyone knows. Yeah, like, I think, you know, I wasn't there for any vocal recording. So it was kind of a surprise when I heard it all together, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. And similarly, you know, Ellen wasn't there for the guitar recording, and you know, I think you all went for drums. I wasn't there for that.
No, I didn't. In the end,
either. It's so strange, isn't it? How we didn't hear anything. You know, I remember getting the mixes back for the first time and being like, "Whoa!" Because some of the stuff
you wouldn't hear, like,
you know,
any of the vocals or anything.
Yeah, some of it gets done like spontaneously. And I think I was on holiday. I was in San Francisco, and I stopped in a coffee shop to listen to all the tracks that had come back for the first time because I was so excited to hear them. And yeah, you know, vocals, man. So exciting. So I think the EP has a huge step up with that, and I think, you know, I hope that's something that we can continue to build on.
Awesome. Well, you mentioned that you do kind of experiment and try things that are, you know, less conventional. Was there anything that you tried it was maybe too out there and that's why you kind of abandoned it?
I know, it just reminds me of our first ever single, Pinky Promise, where we thought it would be really cool if we had a bass solo in it in 7/8. And
we were smart musicians,
because we were like, "Ooh, we're so cool! Look at this weird time signature, yeah." And Henry hates it to this day, and it, like after like a year or so of it being out, he was like, "Guys, I really, really hate it. I can't keep playing it live." So we had to change it when we played it live.
Yeah.
But for this EP specifically, I can't think of my head what we might have.
Anything that was too out there. I mean, it's, you know, we say
your weird Metallica thing at the end of that sounds like I'm not speaking highly of Metallica, but
there was a really cool riff at the end of one of the songs that I still love, but it was very Metallica. I'm a bit of a Metallica fan, and yeah, I think that didn't quite make it in terms of the Kite Thief context. But you know, like Ellen said, we were really trying to push what that is, and I think there are a lot of things that we do. Zach loves to say, like, get weirder. Like, there's nothing that's too weird, and we'll be like, oh, what if we tried this? It's a bit weird, and then it'll be like, yep, put it in. And so yeah, we ended up playing with an ebow on some of the guitar stuff, which, for those who don't know, it's like a magnet that you hold above the strings and makes it vibrate and resonate to kind of give it like a violin style sound. And that's, you know, we started messing around with them. I think there was there's a Shush, actually, the breakdown in Shush, like the heavy bit, there's just no guitars on that. It's all basses. We recorded it with like 3 different basses instead of guitars. And I think, you know, there's no real rules with it. And I think we had a lot of fun messing around. I can't think of anything that was denied, to be honest.
No, I think that's quite normal, isn't it? Though, when people maybe put out that first cut stuff, we're just like, yeah, let's do it all.
I did try and put a guitar solo in one of the songs.
It didn't go down well.
Do you know what? It was just a bit late in the day of the process that I had the idea to do it. It was in Ambiviolent. Whatever you want to call it. It's coming out next week, I think, if this comes out when I think it comes out.
I'm really excited for this one to come out because at the end of that we tried. So I'm really hoping, like earlier on, you said that Joe Marsh does his like TikToks, Instagram reels, like behind the scenes, and I really hope he does one for the song that's Ambiviolent that's yet to come out. I really hope he does that, because at the end of it, There's like at one point there's like 55 separate vocal tracks on there. Like we did so
Oh wow.
then not takes, tracks.
Like, is that the ending, Ellen?
Yeah. And I
yeah.
can't wait because it's just like we just made it. And I was having like I was really bad at the time. I was signed off work, like brain, body all over the place. And I just went there and I stayed at his for like a weekend and we made that. And the Tide, we recorded the Tide that day, but the Tide was pretty solid. We didn't need to do much to it, got it done. But yeah, we spent ages on this one, the one that's about to come out.
Right.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
I think that's probably something that was, I think I was trying to put a guitar solo at the end in that ending with all those vocals. I think it was just a bit much going on. I might do it live because they can't stop me, but
at that point it's too late.
Yeah, I might just try and do it live, sneak it in there. But I think that's probably the only thing that didn't really make it into it. I genuinely can't think of anything that was deemed too weird because there's no such thing, right?
So how long do you think until we get a song with a didgeridoo in there then?
We could do that.
We're all, I don't know, maybe not Ellen, but the rest of us are all quite big fans of Carnival. You know Carnival?
Oh yeah, Carnival, yeah.
So like, start of, is it Change when it's got the didgeridoo playing?
Yeah,
that's,
I think so.
I think it works. So I'm all for it. If someone has one, give me a DM if we can source one, because I have no idea where you buy a didgeridoo.
You can get them in Glastonbury.
Henry's probably got like 6.
Literally, honestly, Henry's house is like the magical house. He's got so many different kinds of hats. He definitely has a few didgeridoos. He's got so many.
Do you know
cool
what? I wouldn't be surprised. He's got like a bit of a crazy. The Weasley's house in Harry Potter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like that
kind of vibe.
The back garden's so magical with things growing all over the place, but like in a really cool way. The hammocks and it's beautiful. So basically, Henry will have didgeridoos, and we should do that.
We'll do it.
Yeah,
we'll do it.
For next EP.
Yeah. Sound.
Call the song Zach.
I'm honoured.
No worries.
Yes.
We'll call it It's Not a Phase.
Yeah.
We could do that. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll write the lyrics for that. That sounds good.
Can't wait. I already can't wait.
Synergy.
So you mentioned one of your songs earlier, Judge Judy and Executioner. So I take it you're Hot Fuzz fans.
Yes.
We are. I mean,
correct.
It's like there's Hot Fuzz and what's the other one we quote all the time?
Anchorman,
yeah.
And Anchorman 2.
And Anchorman 2.
And Superbad. Probably.
And you're a big Superbad fan.
I am.
Anchorman is just something else.
Yeah, we're huge Hot Fuzz fans. I don't know. I don't remember why. You know what? Actually, I remember this being a big conversation because that song, obviously, if you listen to the lyrics, is all about, it's Ellen's lyrics. She can describe it better.
No,
but about being like judged in a situation, right? And feeling like you're being put in front of a jury. Am I correct?
Yes, very good.
Yes, thanks. And I think there was like so many names being thrown around for that song, and the one that some people settled on was Judge, Jury, and Executioner. And I had just watched Hot Fuzz, and I was like, haha, this would be funny. Let's call it Judge, Judy, and Executioner. And certain people in the band were like, yeah, good joke.
I was like, that's amazing.
And then Ellen was like, I think it was Ellen. Yeah, maybe you and Zach, I think were like,
I think it was me.
Hey, why not? Like, why not? There's no rules about this. And yeah, it was a little bit of like do we want to go serious with it or do we want to go a bit funny with it? And I think we settled on just, a bit lighthearted and funny. And we play a little sample of Danny saying that before we play the song live. And it's like people, people who you can always tell who gets it, who's seen the film and who hasn't.
Yeah, you get their reaction.
Just like, what?
Some people are like, oh.
I think we played it at Trees, and when that came out, you could see like maybe like 10 people in this, like however many, I don't know how many, like thousands or whatever. 10 people were like, hey. But yeah, I think it works, and yeah, I think it's nice to have a little bit of a funny thing on there as well, because the rest of the EP is quite dark and angry and sad.
Yeah.
Even that song's kind of sad.
Yeah, that song is kind of sad. So why not name it a funny name? You know how like Fall Out Boy always had the really just weirdest names.
Sentences for song titles. Yeah.
I mean, we're not going that far, but it doesn't really. I think they pushed the boat all the way out. We're just floating. So.
Yeah. You're in like the periphery, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, Periphery have some like probably they're one of the like genty bands that you think of and you think, yeah, really serious big band, and then you listen to like was it Reptile Hailstar, and it like it rings out at the end for ages, and then you hear like "suck my balls," right? Stuff like that is just. I think it's nice to have a bit of fun with it. I think a lot of people in the scene in general just take it a bit too seriously, and there's times when you want to be serious, and there's times where we are serious, and there's times where we're less serious. And I think if you've seen us live, we have a lot of fun on stage, and having these little moments that are funny as well give us like more reason to laugh and stuff on stage, and have kind of moments with fans and audience members who get it. It's nice.
I think, like you say, like that's kind of like obviously a pop culture reference, and it also kind of tips the hat to like the MySpace song titles. Like I can't remember what band it is, but they've got a song called "Bark If You're in Milwaukee," which is an Anchorman quote as well.
Yeah, I recognise that being a band.
I can't think of who it is, but there's definitely
no, exactly. I love that kind of. We never released it in the end, but we made a T-shirt design as well that was like a Kite Thief Anchorman style, like the news team style, like Kite Thief.
Okay.
I don't know why we never released that. I might push for that to get released. Actually, maybe
Mr.
not right now. We're in the middle of an EP cycle.
Yeah, well, it would make sense though. It's part of EP, but maybe later on. Yeah,
maybe after Christmas.
Do a Hot Fuzz one instead.
Yeah. Well, how would you say personally in I think it's called the Cornetto trilogy? How does Hot Fuzz stack in a tier list? What are your? How would you stack
for
those?
Me, it's up
those
there, number one, right? I think for me, like this is going to be controversial. I think Hot Fuzz is definitely number one, no question about it. And I think Shaun of the Dead's probably second. But I think third place, like I know there's only 3 films, right? But I'm gonna say that Paul should be involved in these films. The Alien one with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
That is controversial, but I see what you're saying.
Controversial because I prefer that to what was it? The
World's
End.
Oh yeah,
that came out at the same time as This Is the End, the other movie, and I always get confused between the names. But they, I think it was cool. I like that, but I think I preferred Paul to that movie. So controversial.
I can't remember the other one.
Hot Fuzz. Cornetto trilogy +1, Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, Paul at World's End. Great question.
What you got, Alan?
I think I agree. I'd never really thought about putting Paul in the play. I don't really remember World's End. I'm not going to lie. Like I can't.
Yeah, I mean they go around different pubs, and
I know. I remember bits of it.
Alien things come down.
Yeah. I think Paul. Do you know what? I think I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think.
Nice. It's a good film.
Yeah, Hot Fuzz is number one. Like it just is. Like that's just easy. Yeah.
Maybe we should have a Shaun of the Dead reference in the next one.
Yeah,
I would have the same, but I would swap Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead. I think Shaun's better for me.
I completely respect that. It's they're both fantastic.
Yeah. Classics in the UK cinema world, I guess.
Yeah, I think we need to remember that they're quite cliquey in the UK, these movies, because if we were to start playing in Europe and making Hot Fuzz jokes, I don't think that would go down that well.
Yeah. Well, I thought have you seen The Boys before?
You never know.
Yeah.
Because Simon Pegg's in that, and he started doing like an American accent. I was like, this is just weird.
No, I have. Yeah, I've seen that. It's really strange.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah,
I want him to have his British accent.
Yeah. I was taken aback, but he's only like a small part in it, isn't he? So it was kind of like, oh, well,
yeah.
I'll get over it.
Isn't he in like Mission Impossible movies as well?
Yeah, but I've not watched. I don't think I've watched any.
I can't remember if he does an American accent in that or if it's British, but I need to watch him. I've heard good things.
Yeah,
this is great. We should start a movie podcast. I could talk about movies all day.
Yeah, let's do that.
What do you think about the Marvel films? Are you a Marvel fan?
Yes, we are. We I would say collectively. I don't know actually about
How long you got?
Yeah.
How much time you got? You got a deadline tonight? Because I could go for ages on this.
Yeah.
Nah, look, I loved it up until Endgame. I thought it was amazing.
Oh, it was amazing.
Post Endgame, I think it's been a bit rocky, right? I think
that's how I'm feeling.
A little bit of let's throw some pasta at the wall and see what sticks.
WandaVision, incredible.
Very good. Shang-Chi, incredible. Probably one of the best, actually, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Loki, pretty good. Bit confusing season 2.
We are just talking.
Guardians 3 was really good.
I haven't seen it.
I was just fascinated by, is it Moon Knight? I
haven't seen it.
Just didn't do anything. Like, it was just mid.
Some of it, I'm just like, why?
Yeah,
they've admitted they did a bit much, I think, and like kind of diluted it because you know, they stretch. There's only so many video effects artists in the world, right? And when you own all of them and you still don't have enough time to make She-Hulk look good, you know, you're probably making too many shows. I haven't seen the Marvels yet. Is it out? I don't even know if it's out.
Yeah, I think it came out like a week ago. It's only recently, I think it came out. But yeah,
I'll give that a go.
I will still continue to watch them, but I just don't know if it'll ever get to where it was.
No.
Just from the first Captain America film, like chronologically, first Captain America film to Endgame. That whole period, I just had a great time.
Yeah.
And I really liked WandaVision as well.
I'll tell you what sucked. I'm so sorry. I know this is about music. The Eternals, right? Me and my girlfriend paid extra money to go to the reclining cinema, you know, the fancy cinema with the tables. That film was so bad. I thought. And then we did it again recently, actually, paid extra money to go to the recliner cinema to watch the new Hunger Games movie, and that sucked. So I think it's cursed, that room.
No, it's bad. I wanted to see it.
Oh, you might like it. I didn't enjoy it.
I don't know.
I didn't like the last Hunger Games one, like the original trilogy. I didn't like the last one. I just thought, it just didn't land with me.
I read the book.
Yeah, you know that those last two films were one book split in two, and didn't need to be. And then this film feels like three books squished into one.
Oh,
even though it's not. I know it came out as like another book, and they've done it, but to me that's how it felt. And just odd. I don't know. I didn't enjoy it.
That's the film section over.
I want to start a film podcast. I'm up for it. If you're listening and you rate our opinions, let us know, and we'll do this every Friday.
We will.
Obviously, the EP comes out, and after that, Christmas and New Year's. What have you got planned? What are you doing?
I'm going to be listening to Kite Thief's Ambiviolent on repeat.
I'm going to be buying all of Kite Thief's merch.
Oh yeah, we've got some merch coming out for Christmas. We actually just got some designs back today, looking very nice.
Yeah, very lovely.
But yeah, I mean, New Year, we're going to be. I think sometimes we've been like. I think this year we kind of took some time off in the start of the new year, which I think is really healthy as well. I don't think that people won't often realize how much, even at our level of band, like how much work goes into it, right? And I think it's quite healthy to take some time off sometimes, but I don't think we have time this time.
No, we don't.
So I think we're going to be straight into. I'm going on a holiday in January at one point. I'm going skiing,
nice.
And then I think once back from that, it's going to be straight into. Actually, no, tour rehearsals start before I go on holiday. So we've got, because we're kind of redoing our entire live show, which is something we haven't done for like 2 years, and we're doing a bunch of headline shows across the UK. Check it out if on socials and stuff. You can see where we're going. Some pretty interesting places we never played before. I think we're going to like Bournemouth, never been there before. Norwich, we've never been before. And then we're also doing your Birmingham's, London's, Bristol. And we've got some really big plans for our Bristol show as well. Stuff that we've never done before, extra people and performers and stuff. And yeah, just going to be all out rehearsing for that, I think. And then doing that at the end of February. And I'm sure we'll find some time to do some writing / recording in there at some point as well. It's going to be busy.
You're going to be doing some writing next weekend anyway. So you're basically from now, us until March.
Yeah.
And do you know what? It was like this a little bit last year. But like from this now till like March, we're pretty full on. We will have some time.
And we're even getting some more stuff like after that. I mean, we've got Takedown Festival. I think that's in April.
That's sick.
Has that been announced? Yeah, that's been announced.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then some other bits coming later in the year, and it's stacking up to be a big year. And I think we needed that. So
2000 Trees again. I can't wait. It was so good last year. We had the best time, and now we're actually doing a really cool slot on the Wednesday, which is going to be really fun. It's like kind of the early bird day.
It's going to be a bit crazy, right? Because we're
part of the 2000 Trees Legends thing. Is really cool.
Yeah, I think we're in like the word stage, which is like that's when they have like comedians and podcasts and stuff, right, over the weekend. But because on the Wednesday, like I think half the festival turn up on the Wednesday,
and there's only 2 stages open the entire night, and they switch between the 2.
Right. Yeah, they don't open the arena stages, so it's going to be just like the 2 small ones. So they're just going to be rammed into this stage, I think, and it's going to be. I can't wait.
It's going to be it's going to be good.
So yeah, big year.
Cool. So what? If you were to look to the future, like a year from now, this time in 2024, what would you have hoped to have achieved and done as a band?
I can let Elin answer, and then I'll give the official answer.
You'll come with citations.
A year from now.
Yeah.
Well, we do have one of the things we did. I know what
This
he's
is where
thinking.
I was going to go with this.
Yeah, we do have like our official plans. We did this. This is another thing that we just try and do. Just always kind of looking forward and what else we can do. We have like 1-year plans, 3-year plans, and 5-year plans. Our management actually asked us to write them down and give them to him because that helps him too. So I don't know what the official answer is, basically, but it is actually written down. So in a year's time, I believe it might be like a UK tour, which we're doing. So that's great. I can't see us having more. We might have more music out by then if we can work fast. I want to be booked on loads of more festivals. I just want to continue to get these festivals. They're so fun. I love seeing it's kind of like 2000 Trees anyway. It's like, it is a mates fest. Like all of your, like you just see all these people that you know, like backstage, like these bands return every year because they love this festival.
Yeah.
And that's always just great to be at. So I just hope more of it. And also less actual work. I want to be able to do half of my actual job and more of this.
Yeah. I think
what's the actual one?
Well, you kind of touched on it. I was going to mention about the 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year goals, but when we made those goals was just over a year ago. So this will be in between the 1st and 3rd year goals, and I think we've got some pretty big ones that we managed to hit off the list. The EP, a certain number of monthly listeners. The one thing we didn't manage to get to just yet was like a nice support slot tour in the UK. It's quite hard to come by. It's pretty competitive. I think we've been something we're discovering now. Been up for a couple and been beaten to the place by another band or whatever. I think that might continue being a bit competitive, but that's great. A bit of healthy competition and fun. So hopefully, like a we've got our awesome headline tour plan, which I can't wait to do. But I'd love to get hopefully like a support slot for a band like. I don't want to say names because people will be like, "That's ridiculous. You'll never get that." But nothing lofty. Just like I'd love to play like Bristol O2 Academy, supporting someone.
Right.
Yeah, agreed.
So basically, a busy 2024 for Kite Thief.
We've got the the fight to do it when we have been doing it. So let's just keep going. I think that's how we're feeling right now, and that's goes back to the energy of the EP. It's quite an energetic thing. It's just because that's what we want to portray out now. So I guess that's the kind of the vibe we're in, which is nice. Which is just going. But we do work a lot for it, so it will be a lot of work, but it'll be really good.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens throughout the next year for you, and obviously how the EP goes. I'm sure everyone's going to love it. And thank you both for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, yeah. Before I let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening, any final words, anything you want to say, anything you want to plug? The floor's yours. So, as we've been talking about, Ambiviolent EP's coming out next week. Bunch of singles off it already out, but the last song's coming out next week. And give it a listen, see what you think. I'm hoping at least there'll be one of the songs that you'll resonate with. We're going on tour end of February, start of March. Quite a lot of places in England. I don't know. I can't even remember.
Do you want me to get the official one up?
Yeah, I can't remember how far north we're going is my question.
I can't remember, but there are some new places.
I think it's quite heavy weighted south.
Have a look.
Have a look. Doing some pretty new places, and we've got some awesome supports lined up in some in the places so far. So really looking forward to that, and we'd love to meet as many people as possible. That's perfect. Let's go. Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah.
Great. And on socials, I think is it at Kite Thief UK? Yeah, we are Kite Thief UK everywhere. So nice and easy. Yeah. I don't think there's a Kite Thief US. Some people think we're Kite Runner. We're like, no, that's the film. The book. The old book. I don't know. Yeah, both. I don't know. Yeah. But Kite Thief UK, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, I'd say probably more. Yeah, it's the only places that are worth looking. Yeah. Well, questionable. But thank you so much for having us on. Yeah, thanks very much. Enjoy your evening. Bye-bye. See you later. Bye. And that is it. Thank you so much for listening. Again, if you enjoyed this or any other episode of the podcast, then please leave a rating and review wherever you're listening to this. If you want to support the podcast further, you can go and give it a follow on social media, pick up something from the merch store, or subscribe to the Patreon to get early access to episodes. All the links can be found at itsnotaphase.co.uk. That's itsnotaphase.co.uk. Thanks again, hopefully catch you on the next one, and remember, it's not a phase, it's a lifestyle.